Okay, so let's dive into this. We're always told, get out there, be visible, share constantly, but what if real success, like the significant kind, actually comes from, well, stepping back, disappearing for a while?
Yeah, it's interesting looking at these insights. They really cut against that grain, don't they? This whole culture of nonstop noise and needing to be seen. It's not saying hide forever, but more about a deliberate kind of private phase.
Exactly. That's what we want to unpack in this deep dive. Pulling out the core ideas here that argue for the opposite of just being on all the time. The idea that, real focus and big results, they often need you to work quietly, maybe even totally off the radar before you show anything.
The main point is pretty clear, actually. Sometimes you just have to withdraw, go quiet for a bit
Hmm.
and just dedicate yourself completely to the work that's needed to, well, to actually make a difference. And this applies to anyone, right? Artists, athletes, people starting businesses, or just anyone who wants to grow and not just stay put.
Yeah, and there's that phrase that really stood out to me about being okay with laying in obscurity. Because you understand that core idea when you come out of the dark room, all eyes are on you. That dark room, that seems key, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The dark room is like the central metaphor here. It stands for that vital private process. It's where the quiet preparation happens, the real change. It really highlights the public rewards. They're built on private effort. Everyone wants the results, the manifestation, the next level. But, these ideas suggest fewer people want to actually cut out the noise or,
Yeah.
disappear for months to just really focus on themselves and what they're trying to build.
Right. It's one thing to plan it, write it down, go to seminars, read about it. Easy stuff, relatively speaking. But the insistence here is that at some point you actually have to vanish. You've got to do the work alone behind closed doors. When no one's watching, no one really gets the depth of what you're doing.
And that brings up a tough question these insights sort of pose.
Mhm.
Are you really willing to give up what needs giving up? It might mean like deleting those time-sucking apps, maybe stepping away from certain social things, even relationships maybe, if they're just distractions. Basically retreating into that dark room to genuinely focus. A lot of frustration people feel from this perspective comes from not making those hard choices, not following through when there's no applause.
It really shines a light on the story behind the glory. We see the end result, the trophy, the launch, the performance, the public win. But we miss the years of quiet practice, the long hours, the sacrifices made completely in private in that dark room.
Exactly. And the dark room isn't just a place. It's more like a state of mind, a focused approach. These insights suggest it's what gets you ready, what equips you for when those bigger opportunities show up. It makes you look inward, really honestly assess where you are. Are your current habits, your skills actually enough? It means doing that hard, sometimes grinding work when there's zero outside praise or validation.
Yeah, and the text gives some powerful kind of implicit examples. Like, think about the approach attributed to someone like Steve Jobs, right?
Yeah.
That whole idea of we don't talk about future stuff, we just work on it secretly and then, boom, reveal it. Stop telegraphing your moves before they're baked.
That point about not announcing everything is so important because as these ideas stress, we only have so much mental space, right?
Hmm.
Finite internal real estate.
Hmm.
And the more we clutter that with distractions, negativity, seeking likes, or just talking about half-finished plans, the less focused energy we actually have left for the deep work, the work needed to, reach our potential or bring our vision to life.
So it really pushes you to look at your life and do a pretty ruthless assessment of everything grabbing your attention. You got to ask, is this really worth my limited time, my energy? And if the answer is no, well, the suggestion is maybe it's time to unplug. Retreat.
Because the flip side is the promotions, the chances, the bigger stages, they're being prepared because you're willing to sacrifice in private. Because you're putting in the work during that crucial dark room time. You build the thing solidly when no one sees, and then you announce it.
Okay, so pulling this all together, the big central theme running through these insights is really the essential power of discipline, private work, that tough dark room phase. It's presented as the absolute foundation for any kind of public achievement, for really reaching your potential.
Yeah, it really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? What specific distractions might be holding you back right now? And what's that essential, maybe difficult work you need to do completely away from everyone else's eyes?
Yeah.
Can you find your own version of that dark room, a library, a focused workspace, the gym, your studies, even just quiet time to think?
Right. Are you actually willing to strategically give up those distractions, even if just for a period? Because if public manifestation really does demand private forsaking, Well, what are you willing to let go of, starting now, to truly focus on your path?